that fire of starting this parish
Yes.
is all of a sudden I get a phone call from the diocese. Well, the new year is about to start. I'm like, what? New year? What are you talking about? We wanted to see when we could schedule your home visit to get you back in formation. And so something that I initially said I'm done with, the fire of starting this parish is what pushed me to go back.
Okay, so when St. Faustina, when the whole thing came to you, you were on pause.
Was the 2-year postponement time.
Wow.
Tell me, that's how the Holy Spirit works.
That's amazing.
It was during those 2 years, because I would have never done it. And think about it, Rudy, I'd still
so
be...
you were at that point, you were like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Forget being a deacon. This isn't happening. No.
Yeah. And then I would still be, even if had they not postponed me, I'd still be at St. Bartholomew. I would have never been here.
Do you miss it? St. Bart's?
I used to, but this is my family now. You know, and this is where I belong. So no.
Was there ever a point where in the beginning of St. Faustina, when things were getting really rough, that you just wish that you were back at St. Bart's?
Honestly, if I have to confess, the first couple years of really when we started this place, because it was more like work to me. Again, I was going on obedience to my pastor. My pastor told me to do this. My grandmother says you always do what the pastor says. Right? So I'm like, so not only had I got postponed, right? Not only had God, quote unquote, God postponed me, but now he's running me away from my own parish.
Yes.
You see that?
The one that you've been at since you were 9 years old.
Yeah. The one that literally saved me, really, my life, because, before I went back to the parish, back to our faith, actually, I was in a good Christian. So this is a community that saved me.
Yes.
A community that welcomed me.
Where your first 3 kids had all their sacraments.
Yeah. So, God, what are you doing? What am I doing wrong? So, so it was work. I literally, in my heart, this was work. I was still going to Mass over there, still part over there. Even after we opened St. Faustina, I was still a catechist teacher over there. It was just
So you were going back and forth.
I was going back and forth. Because, again, this was work for me.
Wow. When did it stop becoming...
When it stopped becoming work was literally the second year in my program at that time, the 4 year. So that would be the 5th, 6th, the 4th year. So the second year and the 4-year official part is when it stopped, and that was because of baptisms. That's when I had joined the baptism ministry, and it just moved me. It just did. I don't know how else to explain it. But I think at that point, too, I started to really accept that this is my ministry, right? And so I stopped looking at, God, why are you punishing me to, or where are you calling me? And so, I'm so happy.
So have you looked at some of the men in our parish the way one of the deacons looked at you and said, hey...
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, and that's why I actually caught a couple to be part of that 2025, God willing.
So you've already plucked a couple yourself.
Yeah, I have. And I love it because they said the same thing I did, there's no way I can't do this kind of stuff. And so it's like, again, God's like, Do
you see yourself in some of them?
I do. And that's the reason why I called them. Right, the reason why I call them, because I see myself in them in the way that they administer. I always look at that first. I don't know, maybe it's the business side of me, right? Because the spirituality, that's going to grow in formation. It did for me. I like to see the way they hold themselves, how they carry themselves, right? If something's going wrong, that's why I want to see them. I want to see how they act to it.
How they react to
how they react to a crisis, right?
So you don't necessarily have to be in a certain place spiritually to even start the process of becoming a deacon.
No, you don't. The only thing you have to do is outreach is what I look at. And that's the main thing. What are they doing outside the parish? Because I've had men, and I'll tell you, Rudy, I've had men come to me and that thought that they were thinking about the formation. I told them to pray more. Because they'd be like, well, I'm an EOM. I'm part of this ministry. I'm part of that ministry. And I'm like, it's wonderful that you're living out your baptismal mission. That's beautiful. But what are you doing outside the church? Right? And a lot of times they won't have an answer. And I said, pray about that some more. Just pray some more on that. Because that's what the diaconal formation is looking at, right? Because what you do in the parish, that's part of we're all called to do it, right? We're all through our baptism.
Yes.
And so the men I've called are men who are out there helping those who are in need out there. Those, that's because that's what's going to require.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. That's going to be their first role as a deacon is service to others.
So what are your plans for the future of St. Faustina, or your future as a deacon?
So, I mean, plans for St. Faustina to just continue going like we're going, right? That's for sure. As far as me, growing up, I was never a good student. School didn't go good with me. So again, I feel like that's the Holy Spirit now, again, with his sense of humor, because I'm continuing my education. So when you go in formation, you either could go through the degree program or certificate program.
Okay.
Oh, I went to the certificate program because when you go to the degree program, you do a mini-mester in the summer.
Okay.
You go in there 4 days a week, every day for 3 hours for a whole 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're knocking out 1 3-hour course. I couldn't do that. I got small kids. I mean, summertime, we're going summer vacation. We can't do that. So I went to the certificate.
Yes.
But I've immediately after my ordination, I went back to get my degree. So I'm getting in my master's in pastoral study. That's a pastoral degree.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I'm going to actually this fall, I'll be done. I have one more class. But at the same time, I'm doing online classes to get my master's in theology. Well, that's academic. So I'll be able to teach. I'll be done with that in the summer, a year from there. Then from there, I already found a program that they're able to, and all this is Catholic education.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to find a program to continue getting my doctorate in theology. So I see myself one day teaching. And that's funny because I gave teachers so much problems growing up, and I'm like, again, God with a sense of humor. God. So I could just if I get to the point where I'm teaching, I get one of those students, I can't say nothing. I just feel like, look in the mirror, Ray, look in the mirror. That was you. So
your kids, do you look at any of them as potential deacons or, taking up the cloth?
No, we as parents,
religious
I have
life of any sort?
As parents, we have 4 boys. So as parents, me and Denise were like, how awesome to be one of them as a priest, right? I mean, I feel like as a parent, you're like, I've done my job, Lord. Look, I've given you one of my children, right? You know? That should be a parent's automatic golden ticket into heaven, right? Like giving you a priest. But no, I don't push it on them. I don't, because the journey's so different. My journey was just crazy, right? And every journey, I guarantee you, every priest, every deacon has a story, and so I don't push that on my kids. We push our faith. I mean, they're going to be practicing it. That's for sure. But no, not that. I'll let that come.
Have they ever talked to you about it? Felt any pressure of any sort? Well, not even from you.
I mean, my older boys are like, "Oh, Dad, we're gonna participate in the church, but we ain't gonna do the deacon like you. So don't even try to bring that, right? Don't even try to bring that." So,
do you laugh and say, "Yeah, that's what I used to think"?
I don't say that because these kids, I think to myself that. That's for sure.
Of course,
yeah,
to yourself.
Yeah, I think that to myself. That's for sure. But yeah, as long as they take their faith seriously and participate in it, I think as a parent, that's all we could ask for, right? Just be a good person, right? Mm-hmm. And that's they do that, I'm good. Priest or deacon or not, I'm good, right? And it's hard. I mean, I couldn't even imagine because especially, and it worked out perfect because remember I told you I got the 2 sets of kids.
Yes.
So people asked me about that. I said, well, it worked out perfect because by the time I was in the formation, my kids were older. They're in high school. You go through those phases where like, Dad. You don't want to hang around Dad too much at that time, right? So I was there for their main stuff, so they're okay with it. Now they're adults. And with the younger ones, they just grown up with it. It was just part of their life, right? This is part of their life.
There was no huge adjustment for the younger ones.
Yeah, there was really no adjustment for either side, right? And so, yeah, it's just a part of their lives. And so it worked out perfect. Because believe me, having small children, they were always constantly doing home visits. They were always calling us in. How's the kids? How's everybody? Do
they still do that?
No, it's too late now. I'm already a deacon now. Now we have brother deacons. So when you're in formation, it's like boot camp.
Okay.
It is. That's why you have to do all these sacrifices. And that's why I tell these guys, I'm like, when I'm mentoring these guys in formation, I said, don't worry. Once you become a deacon, you're instant family. It's the most beautiful thing. If I don't have to miss any practicing anymore because I have Deacon Randy will cover for me, Deacon Ernie will cover me in the weekends. Forget about missing anything important in the weekend. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Because my deacon brothers are going to cover for me. And if not them, I've covered for other deacons at their own parish because they had something important to do.
Okay.
That's what, so it's a beautiful family of brotherhood. That's for sure. Good fraternity. So yeah.